Hello, Facebook. I'm Andre Fizer. Those of you who are in Indianapolis, I'll be there Saturday at the downtown Indianapolis Library, Central Library. So I'm looking forward to meeting you at Identity Talks. It's going to be an incredible thing where we talk about divine life, divine thinking, creative life. It's not just spiritual talk, but how to activate the realities and power of who you are in everything in life, not just a spiritual event where you talk about spiritual things and then after the event you have to submit back to human reality. But we're going to be talking about how to shift reality to accommodate who you are as a purpose individual. How do we cause reality to submit or adhere to the divine expression that you're being? And so that's the subject of today's mini talk right now, divine faith in everything. How do I activate and live in faith, not just believe for something for a certain event? I think that's where we miss it a lot. We kind of live a regular life and then we get to a situation and then we try to apply faith to a situation. And how do you live from this zone constantly? How you doing? How do you live from this constant zone? Well, it all begins with a choice. It all begins with purpose. You could read the Word of God and you could meditate on the Word of God. You could do that, but it takes a choice. And I don't know everyone's tolerance levels. Let me hear you say tolerance. And I'm not going to keep you on long, but there is a toleration of what you can stand. How much belief and confidence can you stand to have concerning you? Sometimes we believe more in people than we believe in ourselves. From what your purpose is, everyone say purpose, what your purpose is. What toleration level have you experienced from knowledge of purpose? Everyone can speak a rhetorical purpose, but there is not a lot of emotional connective to purpose. So it depends how you see yourself in the world. It depends on if you have a knowledge of, hello, welcome. It depends on what knowledge you have of yourself based on your own purpose, not church purpose or religious purpose, but life purpose. Who do you think you are? Who do you feel you are? I know what God says about me. You could read it and say, well, God says I'm this. But have you embraced it emotionally? This is who I am. There is a power to live your faith, not just living as a regular human being and trying to believe something. And because I think we get caught with that. We live in a regular reality and then we try to muster up enough faith to believe something. And then there is conditions. God, I've been believing for a week. God, you got to come through. I've been believing for 2 weeks. I've been believing for it and then believing, and we've been praying and praying. And before you know it, you're praying to God 500 times behind one thing. But how do you live from this faith in everything without denying the reality of humanity? Where it depends on your tolerance and your purpose. Do you know who you are and what you're here for? Not a vague knowledge of why you're here, but do you know what you're here for? I'm here. Not just to say I'm here to lead people to God. I understand, but do you know the specifics about your life? When you live from the specific laws of your life, you know I'm here for this reason. This is why I'm here. And this law or this reason that you hear determines the decisions that you make in everyday life. Can I walk in faith? How do I walk in faith and still be sick in my body? In other words, do you adhere to the symptoms of sickness in your body? Or do you know your purpose to the degree where sickness or anything in your body must submit to who you are? How many of you believe that whatever your ailments are, it must and it will submit to why you live? Can you live your purpose even with sickness? Can you live your purpose even with $5? Can you live and do you have faith even if there is not enough money? Do you look at money as the dimension of a faith? How do you see yourself There is a way to have faith with everything. That there is a way to have faith, not just believe in spite of the elements, but just to know who you are in spite of the elements. There is a way to do it. But how much tolerance do you have? How much comfort level of comfortability do you have? How much toleration do you have to believe in yourself that much? Can you afford to believe like that or think that way? Raise your hands if you know what I'm talking about. It's called toleration, because some of us can believe if the elements are at peace with us. So our toleration of faith isn't great, because it's not a matter of, can God get me out of a dilemma? This isn't about God getting us out of anything. It's a matter of how much toleration do you have to put up with certain reality without becoming one with that reality? Do you know how to live your truth in spite of a reality, instead of allowing reality to dictate how you should think about yourself? Sometimes in our heart, reality makes us rethink. It causes us to rethink ourselves in silence. We will speak the truth in the open, but it will cause us to rethink ourselves and our confidence in silence. How much toleration do we have to still know we are significant in spite of the outer elements saying otherwise? And do we believe that we have that type of power? How much responsibility and discipline can we live with our lifetime, instead of giving way to a short-term lapse in our humanity? Can we really devote the majority of our lifetime, or all of our lifetime, into this thought? And not just thinking mentally, but into this reality. Do I have faith in everything? Does sickness or poverty or being short of finances or being without a relationship, does that affect what I see myself being? How much toleration do you have? How many of you guys have a high level of toleration? In other words, you can withstand the forces of what your outer elements perceive without shifting your mind, which means regardless of what outside says, I know what I am. Not I know what God says, but I know what I say. By a show of hands, hello everybody who's on. Sorry sometimes if I don't address your name. I'm just trying to stay on the flow so I won't keep you on too long. Yeah, toleration, faith. Does sickness cause me to feel that I don't have any faith? How much energy do I give to sickness? Am I allowing sickness to make me feel as though I have no faith? Can I live even with sickness? Am I disturbing sickness and disease with my faith? Not the faith to end the sickness, but my faith to continue to live my purpose in spite of sickness. See, when we live our purpose, see, without a knowledge of purpose, there really can't be an acknowledgement of faith, because faith and destiny works together. You have to know I'm here for a reason, and this reason is my protector and my navigator and my negotiator with life. How many of you understand your purpose by a show of hand? This is the reason I came to the world. This is the reason I've been sent. Those of you, y'all understand what I'm saying? For this reason, I'm in the world. Let me hear you say that. For this reason, I'm in the world. For this reason, I'm in the world. And because of this reason, I have a negotiation power. That whatever happens in the elements can't really affect me, because I'm here for this reason. And how many of you make decisions and choose things? Let me hear you say choose things. You choose things, where you live, where you work, your career, everything from this negotiation power. How many of you choose jobs based on benefits kids, or you choose careers based on purpose. You either start a career, you either develop a career, or you go to a job based on purpose and not based on lack. Some of our choices of relationship, job, career is based on lack and not based on purpose. It's based on what we know we don't have. So when we feel we don't have, we allow what we don't have to choose for us. When we believe in lack, then we allow the lack, whether it's in relationship, kissing somebody, being rubbed on by somebody, being kissed by somebody. You understand, whenever we have lack and we give authority to lack, we will find jobs based on lack and not on purpose. And that's why we'll find a job and we'll like it for a little bit, and then we're tired because the lack determined where we worked. Lack determine our marriage. Lack determine our relationship. Lack determine our friendship. Lack determine everything we did. Because I don't have this, I would choose this. But when you have a faith, not just to believe for something, what's going on, Ed? When you understand who you are and why, and the reason and the discipline, when you understand your purpose, you choose based on purpose, not based on lack. How many of you understand what I'm saying? There is a way to have divine faith in everything. Even in sickness, I'm living my purpose. I'm not living responding to the symptoms of my blood or disease or pain or whatever. My pain must submit to the strength of my purpose. It will. It's not about moving a symptom. I could still do this thing with arthritis. I could still do it with high blood pressure. I could still do it with a pain in my leg. I could still do it with cancer. It's not a matter of the disease. Whatever it is must submit to the reason you live. How many of you have understood and are understanding the reason you live? When you understand the reason you are here, you begin to choose from that reason. We fail when we choose from lack, when we choose from fear, when we choose from doubt, when we choose from the need to be accepted or validated, when we're trying to become something and we choose from there instead of choosing for the reason we're here. How many of you follow me? How many of you follow me? When you know your purpose, you choose from purpose. Let me hear you say that I'm choosing from my purpose. I'm choosing from my purpose. That word was getting extra in the video it's still that way. You can go back and listen to it. Yes, I choose from my purpose. I live from my purpose. I don't allow lack to make me choose. It's a toleration. How much of the divine do you feel you are? It's a toleration. It's how much of the divine do I feel I am? It's a toleration. How much of this God do I feel that I am? How much can I tolerate saying that without people getting a bad idea and looking at me funny for saying that? Can I tolerate being me in spite of the religious thought of everyone else? It's how much can you tolerate being? How much action can you tolerate embracing? Because some of us want a lot of change, but we don't tolerate the activity or the discipline that causes the change. How much movement can I tolerate? How much inconvenience can I tolerate? I can move. I can do something different. Can I tolerate doing something different without the fear of failure? How many of you understand what I'm saying? Just give me just a few minutes. I'm going to be gone. Can I tolerate moving in a different dimension in my life without fearing failure, without fearing that I'm going to miss it, without fearing that somebody's going to say something? How many of you feel that there is somebody that's holding you back from doing whatever? You see, it's faith in everything. It's knowing that there is nobody that's holding me. Do I have the ability to do what I feel I need to do without worrying about what you're going to say? You'll be surprised that some of us can't stand what somebody else is going to say if we do something different. I can't stand if you're going to say something. Your opinion matters to me. How many of you can handle being blessed by your own opinion? How many of you can tolerate your own opinion, your own thought, and you can do it? You see, you can do whatever it is you need to do. You don't have to just ask God, God, open the door. God, I've been doing everything. God, I've been doing everything. Lord Jesus, I've been giving. Lord. You don't have to play bingo with God. You have the divine trait, but what can you stand? How many steps can you stand to take without looking back and seeing if somebody's going to say something? How many of you can stand moving forward without looking back to see if somebody's going to say something? By a show of hands. Let me know you understand what you're saying. Let me know. Let me know that you understand what I'm saying. Can I afford to do it? How much toleration do I have? Can I do it? You got faith for everything. Can I do it? You can do it. You don't have to ask, can you do it? You don't have to ask God, can you live? If